Should I rent or should I buy? Was the question asked this week. Stay tuned for the answer. Let's start by first looking at some of the benefits and setbacks when it comes to home ownership and renting, and see if any of these will help us in our decision-making process. First, looking at owning a home, what are some of the benefits? The very first thing that pops into my head is that it can serve as a great savings account, a great 401k account. It gives you the ability, the opportunity to build wealth and equity long term. Another thing that I can definitely say as a homeowner is that you get certain tax benefits and breaks if you own your own place. You get more security, more independence, more privacy, etc. So what are some of the glaring setbacks that you get when it comes to owning your own home? The very first thing that I can think of is, well, first you got to have a little bit of money saved up in order to purchase a property. Now, I'm not saying you have to have 20%. That's a common misconception. You can have 5% or 10% or 3%, right? The point is you got to have X amount of money put aside in order to purchase a property. So that could be a potential setback. It is a huge responsibility. You have to upkeep the property, you have to maintain it, or you'll be financially impacted in a negative way if you let things go. Another thing that I'm thinking of is you can't easily walk away from it, right? It takes time to turn around and sell it. And the last thing that I want to bring up, which is really a major one, if you make the wrong decision, you can definitely put yourself in a financial hole. You can severely handicap your financial position for a number of years. So these are some of the major setbacks that I can think of at this moment. When we're talking about renting, it's pretty much the opposite when it comes to owning a home. Some of the benefits when it comes to renting instead of owning, there isn't too much responsibility there. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to worry about upkeep. That is something that the landlord and the owner have to worry about. You can easily walk away from it. You don't need a lot of money saved up in order to rent a place. Normally, all you need is 1 month of rent for the security deposit, and that's it. So what are some of the setbacks and negatives when it comes to renting? Well, clearly, you're not paying yourself. All the money that you're paying in rent goes to somebody else. You never get to see a dime of that money. So that's a glaring negative. Another negative is that you definitely don't get the tax breaks and benefits that you get when you do own a home. And of course, you don't have as much privacy, you don't have as much security and independence when you're renting from somebody else. Now, that being said, do these things actually help us answer the question of should I rent or should I buy? Well, yes and no. They can help us think through the process and really, based on what our objective is, help us determine if it's right for us to buy or if it's right to us for rent. For example, if your objective is to save money long term, not 3 months, not 6 months, we're talking about long term, 5 years plus, right? Then most of the time, buying your own property will serve that purpose. Now, if your purpose is to be able to walk away from it at a drop of a hat because you know because of your job you're going to have to be relocated on an annual basis from one state to another, then probably renting may be the best decision for you when it comes to that particular situation. And before I leave you, I want to make sure that what I say is not to steer you in any way or to tell you what to do. No, it is merely to point out some of the facts that are out there so that you can use those facts and that information and make the decision that is best for you. Right? So when I have to answer this question for myself, or when I had to answer this question for myself, because I am a homeowner now, The very first thing was to define what my objective is. So that's what I want to leave you with. The first step before you decide to rent or to own is to find out what your objective is, what you're trying to accomplish. And once you know where you want to go, simply operating from a platform based on facts and information will help guide you to make the right decision for you. I hope you find some of this information beneficial and useful. For those of you who have comments, questions, suggestions, you know the drill. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for joining.